while we're doing this quick change. And I wanted to talk about how people have forgotten the largest organ of the body. So you have all these fitness trackers, you've heard of activity monitoring, but somebody's forgotten our skin. And basically that's what we realized. And we said, well, how do we give consumers the power to understand their skin and to figure out what would work best for their skin so that they can achieve great skin outcomes. So basically what I'm holding in my hand here is a little device. It's a cube that is the world's first personal skin coach. So this little device connects via Bluetooth to an app on your phone, and what it does is you put it on your face and it looks underneath the surface of the skin, and it analyzes and reads that skin, and it helps you figure out what you should do for your skin, not just from a product perspective, but also from a lifestyle and dietary perspective. Show of hands, who doesn't care about their skin or how they look? You don't?
You don't care?
That's two.
You don't care?
These are the smart Alex in the room. So basically, I just wanted to show you what this product can do. So we are starting off in the aging segment, where we want to help people look their youthful best. And what this product does, as I mentioned, is it'll take images at different depths from the surface, and it'll measure different characteristics of the skin. So for example, we'll be able to tell moisture readings, we'll be able to tell oil readings, we'll be able to tell elasticity, luminosity, we'll be able to, we are able to look at different characteristics of the skin. And as I'm talking about this, I'm also joined by my co-founder, Sava, and so we'll be taking a lot of questions and hopefully answer them. But what I'm going to do is, since it's a small crowd, I'm just going to put this on my face, and there's a single button, and I don't know if you can see or if there's a, okay, okay.
Rotate it.
That works. Perfect.
Perfect skin.
So basically what I just did is I measured my skin health, and it gives me a score, which is a 6.6. You can't see too clearly, but there's a little red pointer which sets my daily goal. So it tells me what my skin can actually achieve. So it sets a daily goal, and it really helps coach me towards that goal. But more importantly, it also breaks it into specifics. So for example, right here, I have pigment activity. You can see pigment activity going up over time. And I can really, if for those people who are really keen on knowing details on their skin, this image is not showing up, but you can get a deep dive image which looks underneath the surface, and those little purple spots are actually melanin activity that's happening underneath the surface. So this is not some superficial camera distance picture scare tactic. This is not that. This is about being able to look underneath layers and putting that power in the consumer's hand. So similarly, just like I showed you pigmentation, there's texture. So what the texture piece does is it builds a three-dimensional model. It measures crests and troughs in my skin, and more importantly, it peer adjusts. So all these readings also help me figure out where my skin should be relative to people like me, people I call skin twins. Skin twins are people who are of my age, my gender, my skin sensitivity, my skin tone. That's what matters. I need to know the potential of my skin, not how it compares vis-a-vis to Tom Cruise or Halle Berry. That's nice to know, but doesn't really help me. And then similarly, I can look at propensity to wrinkle. So what this is doing is it's looking underneath the surface of the skin. It's looking about 1 to 2 millimeters deep, and it finds structural breaks in the skin. And it can basically predict what my risk of wrinkling is. So you see those little lines? Those are basically structural breaks that are in my skin. So this is all data that's coming in, which is subsurface. So we are the first in the world who have figured out how to look underneath the surface. Is this safe? Completely safe. The hard science we have broken through is we have figured out how visible light can be used to look underneath the skin. Visible light. I'm not talking about infrared, I'm not talking about ultraviolet, much less X-ray. I mean, that's way off into the danger zone. So this is visible light, and there's some real core technology that we're using, which leverages facets of spectroscopy, of dermoscopy, and nanotech that help us do these readings. And you're seeing these readings in real time. But the key thing is my recommendations. I don't know if Sava, you want to walk through the recommendations piece.
So in terms of the recommendations, everyone's skin is unique, and it's not just genetically unique, but it's lifestyle and diet. And so when you look at products that you're using, what may work for you may not work for you. What we try to do is, once you have your measurements, then you can go through and figure out, here's what I should do based on my skin. And so when you look through, what we take here is, it's a little bit out of focus, I think, but I think you can tell. So for texture, we give you lifestyle recommendations. Generally, are you using enough moisturizer? You can look into products, and in terms of diet, what you're doing, factors that affect gland activity. Are you drinking enough water? You can enter those in. And you can even go into the product level where we match you up with what products are good for you as an alternative based on your readings. So you start using a product, and you can actually start seeing whether is your moisture trending better, is your redness dropping, and we tie all that in to try to give you a new look and control over really what's going on around your skin. So all of these, when we look into the details of them, you can get into the detail about the product information, but what's really interesting is we pair you with what we call your skin twin. So imagine now you have someone who's same profile, genetically, lifestyle, diet, and then you can go to them for opinions, see what works well for them, and instead of a random person. Even your best friend may be great, but they have different skin and maybe different lifestyle and diet. So you want to find people who are close to you, and that's what we really enable once you start tracking. And it really opens up an exciting way of now understanding that your skin impacts, and the way your current skin is impacts which products, what are your lifestyle and diet choices. Turn that back on. So we're excited about it. We're glad you guys are in the special early listener group. So thanks for staying.
And I'll just emphasize, as we get, as Sava covered the recommendations, one of the things is these recommendations are specific to me. So I just realized that he's seeing these for the first time. He hasn't seen recommendations for me. But for example, it's telling me that I need to focus on my texture. So what this did is, first it prioritized what I need to focus on. It takes guesswork out. For me, it's texture. And what it does is, it knows, it syncs with my apps, so it synced with my FitnessPal, it knows I've been drinking a lot of soda. And it knows that sugar is damaging my texture. That's why it's telling me that, hey, I need to knock off on the amount of sugar I'm taking in. Similarly, last week in Vegas was cloudy and cold. Today is really warm. So this morning, it popped up the alert saying, hey, you need more sunscreen, the UV index is pretty high. And that's going to help your texture. So what's happening is it's really becoming my coach. It's helping me achieve great outcomes for my skin. And that's what this is doing. And it's not just doing it from a product perspective, because our skin is a complex organ. It's impacted by lifestyle, which is how much sleep, whether I'm getting activity, so on and so forth. It's impacted by my diet, caffeine, alcohol, in Vegas for sure, water, all kinds of things. I mean, there's a dietary element to it, and then there's product, which is you want to use the right product. And the important thing about the product, which also Sava covered, is it's powered by evidence. This is evidence-based beauty. Because every time somebody scans, we are seeing which product is driving the biggest improvement. And as long as those people are like me, so for example, Richard over here, his skin is very much similar to mine. So you can see on the top, you don't see the bottom bar, it's not very clear, but I'm at the bottom, and our moisture levels are almost the same. Our textures are fairly identical, elasticity is almost the same, luminosity is very similar, pore size is almost similar. So structurally, our skin is very similar. And he's one of those guys who's seeing a big improvement in his skin using this product. That's why it's sourcing. This becomes my personal beauty clinical trust. And it's sourcing that product and telling me that, hey, this product is leading to a big difference. So we completely democratize skincare. We connect people with over 150,000 products in the database. We are on the side of the consumer. We don't sell these products. We don't carry these products. But we just connect you with the right products. It's up to you if you want to pick those products. And you can do different things, like you can also see what sort of a routine that product would best fit in. And as you can see, there are all kinds of brands in here, right? Because we are brand agnostic. We are not slotting advertising fees, none of that. We just connect you based on your skin health, based on outcomes. We connect you with the right product for your skin. So that's MySkin. Our product is called Oku. We are open for pre-order. Our MSRP is $299, but we have a special pre-order special at $249, and it's available for pre-ordering right now. We're going to start shipping in spring of this year, and we're really excited. I think we are all enthused on helping make the world a more beautiful place.
All right. I think we have time for a few questions.
Yeah.
Anyone?
We are fourth. You hang on. This is where you stumped me at the last.
We're by the MySkin Pavilion, so it's right by where Motorola is. You got the actual number?
I'll tell you in a minute. Hang on.
Actually, it's called Cool Products for Moms.
Yeah.
Okay.
43975.
43975. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, so your device scans your individual skin and sees how it is and then takes into account how does it know how your skin's changing? Or do you scan it daily?
Yeah. So there's, like Rahul was saying, the principles are dermoscopy, which is used in skin cancer analysis. It's like really magnifying your skin. And then we use special tailored visible light that that interacts with the skin at various steps, and then we can map out the structures, the sebaceous glands, the pores, and track that. And then we put that into a simple score. In terms of how does it take care of the diet and the lifestyle, you can either enter it manually, and once a day you can enter what you've been eating, and you'll be able to sync with apps. So if you're tracking like on a diet app or an exercise app, you can track what your sleep is, and you can input all of those into, you can sync them in, and then that will come into a combined kind of view of how you're treating your skin.
Can it tell if you're Republican or a Democrat?
Blue or red?
Actually, we'd have to look at
Inflammation or you're really cold.
So can someone here try it?
Yeah, I think we should try maybe.
Well, I'm sorry, this is linked to my profile. So right now it's only,
And
So do you want to tell us about your skin?
I already did.
Yeah, he's been well.
By the way, we are in booth 74935. I had the number wrong. 74935.
But an interesting point, and once you start scanning, the more you scan, the smarter it gets. And then the more detailed the recommendations get for you. Because even in different parts of the face, the hands, your skin is structurally different. And so the more you scan in the same places and see how your change happens over time, the better it gives you advice. And so that it's exciting. So it works on any kind of starting point, but it's really a smart little cube.
How many users can use one device?
So multiple users can use the device. It's just that they'll have to create different profiles and logins, because skin is very specific, because it adjusts for age, so on and so forth.
You're having like a slumber party and everybody wanted to do it.
Got it.
You could do that,
You
right?
got it.
Yeah.
And we're starting off in aging, so helping achieve the glow, the healthy glow. And then we're looking at different applications beyond. So, things like acne, things like sun protection. And there's a whole slew of issues around skin that we have uncovered. And we're really creating this category.
Has anybody been using it besides yourself, or are you?
Great question. So, it's taken us a long time to figure out how to measure skin. And in the process, we came up with a professional version of what we're doing. It's called a dermograph. And it was so breakthrough that brands like La Prairie, I don't know if you've heard of La Prairie. La Prairie is the world's highest end premium luxury brand. I mean, they've been using our systems across the US to figure out what their clients' skin is like. So because brands face the same problem, which is they don't know who the person across the counter is. They don't know what their skin is, and they definitely don't know what the person should recommend in terms of priority as to what should be addressed for the client. So you go to the same counter, whether it's a Clinique counter, and at one location and an adjacent Clinique counter and at another location, you're going to get different advice, you're going to get different recommendations. I mean, it's a challenge because there are no subjective methods which help you determine what your skin state is and what priority to focus on. And that's what we've cracked. So we've been working with brands, we've been working with spas across the world. And we've really been collecting data on how to do this. And this is really the consumer version of what we've come up with. The professional version is it's a big, it's like a Clairsonic. It's a big brush, sort of looking device. This is for the home-based consumer. This puts power into your hands.
How big is your group of skin twins, and how do you find them?
Yeah, great. So the skin twin group is, imagine 20 people exactly like you being in a room. So that's what it is it's a virtual room with an X number of people. Right now I can't disclose how many, but you'll see those skin twins come in. For example, you saw 3 skin twins come into my profile. So basically, and Sava,
I'll just jump in. So it dynamically changes based on the types of groups. So some you might get a lot, but it dynamically adapts the more users go in. So you might start with how close you are as a skin twin is also matters as more users come on, and then they might kind of become even closer to you as a skin twin. And so what we do algorithmically is we adjust that group to get a critical mass to give you effective advice and recommendations.
And it's an opt-in to share that information. So, people will share if they want to share. It's an opt-in, it's not an opt-out.
So if you find a skin twin, can you communicate with them?
In a community form, yes. Right.
Okay, all right.
You'll have a bunch of them in there. So, but you'll be able to do it in the community. More questions? Does anyone? I could add some trivia. Who knows the question? Is your skin oily, dry, normal, or combination? Who's heard of that? Okay. That question, who knows when that was formed?
I want to first, so you raised your hand. What do you think? Is it oily or dry or combination? It's combination. So T-zone is oily? All right. Do you know if the T-zone is high oil or is it high hydration? This is exactly what happens. Nobody knows. And oil and moisture are basic building blocks of healthy skin. And even that, nobody is able to tell us whether we are dry because of low oil or low hydration, or if we are oily because of high oil or high hydration. Forget about collagen and elastin and all these things. Oil and water, basic building blocks of healthy skin. The so-called experts can't tell you, what the state of the skin is. And that's precisely what we uncovered. And
that question was formulated about 120 years ago by a Polish lady who correctly understood that people had different skin types, but essentially didn't go further into the question. She created a simple categorization. What we're doing is we're taking that question into the 21st century, and so you can really know what's going on underneath your skin. But a high oil and low moisture is also bad because you're still lacking the water that's necessary for healthy skin and cell function. Okay.
Are you guys like doctors or something, or how do I know that you're not just?
well, by now we have enough patents to our name that, we have more patents to our name than I would say 99.99% dermatologists have. So.
But we're constantly finding new things about the skin, which is really, it's exciting. It's just seeing different behaviors and activities and actually putting them into the app and into the device is really, it's fun. It's a great, it's a great kind of position, and we're really excited to share it. So we announced Oku Monday night. This website is called getoku.com, and we're going to be, we're taking pre-orders now, and we'll be able to launch, and we'll start shipping in.
You know that the word ghetto is in your URL.
That's with a T and an H.
Okay. Because that makes it really cool. Super cool.
It could. We might actually even get the
our skin's in the game.
Version.
We got a lot of skin in this game. Well,
Okay.
a great last session, because we've seen how technology is changing and improving and empowering people. And I liked what you said about democratizing it, really even down to the skin level with a very concrete example. You guys, thanks for ending us out in a wonderful session. And Robin is shaking the official hors d'oeuvres.